Beyond with the one and only Ted. This is Tip Chat. Welcome to Tip Chat. I'm Chip. Who are you, Ted?
He's just so buddy.
Woo, woo. What a week. It feels like we were just here.
Yeah. I seen you yesterday.
So technically, yeah, because I just finished listening to last week's show.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's how long it took. Shout out to Jenny from the blockchain. She was amazing. Yes. We're going to have her back for sure.
Yeah, great conversation.
Soon.
Yeah. More Florida than now.
Yeah, we're gonna try that out. We'll try again.
We'll try again.
But also, I learned so much.
Oh, it's wealth of knowledge.
Yeah, and I feel like I've said it before, but this show, it's like an excuse to talk to smart people and learn things from them.
Yeah.
And so that was a really good example of it. This week, we're going to talk to somebody else who's did something very important, but he's also somebody I've known for a very long time. So he's very smart, but makes a lot of questionable decisions, like, being friends with me. So his name is Josh. We're gonna talk to him. He worked the primary election up there in New Hampshire. Did you know there was a New Hampshire?
Yes. Yeah.
Where's the old Hampshire?
Right
back in jolly old England.
Exactly. That's exactly
where is it in relation to something I would know?
I have no clue on that.
No?
Yeah.
Is it? It's
last week. I didn't know what I was off the air. I didn't know what
somewhere in the Midlands.
Somewhere.
Maybe.
I have no clue.
Brian might have a map.
Where the original Hampshire.
Yeah, Hampshire. Shire means county. I learned. So if there's something shire, that's like county. Yeah. So and then there's the one that means sauce. Worcestershire.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Worcestershire.
Wash your sister sauce. That's what they call it. Yeah. Whoa. Yeah. Also, this has been an incredible week for the Republicans. I can't even, and it didn't even involve Boebert, which is shocking.
If they're playing defense against themselves. It's really kind of like it's a self-check. Like, I don't, and
it's like playing golf with a hockey stick.
Exactly. Happy Gilmore.
Yeah.
Right.
Shout out to Carl Weathers, by the way.
Oh,
we just lost, Chubbs. All right.
But I mean, what's worrying is that everybody's calling the general election like a competitive election based on like non-governing of one party that does not able to govern, and when they can govern, they need to do it with the help of the Democrats,
of the speaker, the actual speaker. Yeah,
and I don't know, but like the leader of the nomination for president of that party, it's just I can't. It's going to
be crazy. We're going to talk about it because there's details, and
it's going to be wild.
It is going to be wild.
Yeah. Like that.
That right there.
Just to look.
That was even the discussion in front of the Supreme Court today.
Yeah.
At some point, I was waiting for them to just ask Trump's lawyer. So when he lost the election in 2020, did that justify his response so that the lawyer could be like, "No, he didn't lose." I wanted to see if that would happen.
No, they wouldn't even. They know they can't tee up. They can't tee them up to say that there because they're trying to get the fuck out of that. Like they're like, "Yo, this is the crazy."
Well, we're going to talk about that too. We've got a whole SCOTUS prediction segment coming up.
That's big.
So that's gonna be nuts. The Royals are doing things that don't matter.
Kansas City, what's happening out there?
No, not the baseball team.
I was like, what do we got?
No, those colonial ones.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Somebody texted me about that, and I was kind of very abrupt.
Did you see my tweet?
I didn't see yours. My response was, I care as much as an Irish person.
That's great. That is the right answer. Mine was something along the lines
and that's bad. I don't like not for the diagnosis, but more so for like what that represents. And
no, I think given your ancestry, that is a fair way to you're being very generous.
Being very generous.
My answer was something like, I'm shocked to find out an inbred old man has cancer.
That was so good. I did see that.
Like,
that was really good.
Okay.
That was really good.
So that's happening. And we will do Super Bowl predictions.
Oh.
Because it's right before the game.
It is.
And we get to use your vast football knowledge to parse out what you think is going to happen. So there is a lot. This is a packed show. So, and hopefully Brian's going to get out of here on this calendar month. Also, it is It is. Just speaking of the calendar, this is Chip Chat's 9th birthday this week.
Oh, this week?
Yeah, it was the second week of February of 2015 was the very first broadcast on air of Chip Chat. So
second week of February 2015.
Yeah. You're doing math now?
I'm just thinking of that.
Oh, what were you doing?
Just more of what that was.
We were writing jokes about fast food. We had a practice of like stopping at Taco Bell and giving them weird names for our order on our way to the studio, just because that was the level of humor that we could manage. Yeah, it was a different time.
It was a different time.
Like the level of obstructionism was. Well, it was still racist Tea Party bullshit, but it was Boehner.
Yeah.
And there was an interesting quote this week from, I think it was Ken Buck, because he's been in Congress for a long time. He was one of the no votes on the impeachment. And he said that Mike Johnson never even called him about which way he was going to vote. And he said that Dumb Kevin would have come and yelled at him, but Dumb Kevin knows better than to yell at him because that'll just get him to vote against him no matter what. And Boehner would have broke my arm. That's what he said. So he goes, it seems like I'm getting better and better as it goes by.
I mean, I guess we'll get to that, but it's obvious like people can go at Nancy Pelosi as much as they want, and obviously
she was out there breaking arms.
And you know what? She could count.
Yep. Turns out. Al Green. We're going to get to him, not the singer. Okay. But I think he's also a reverend too.
Yes, he does.
They're both Reverend Al Greens.
Certain that is true.
Yeah, he's from Texas. All right. We're going to do all of that stuff.
There's a lot to do.
So do you have a word?
Yeah, I got a word.
Okay. I had a word. Okay, I've got a word
today.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's see. I've got it. So sit back, grab some
soy boys.
It's governance time. You're listening to the best show, the only show, Chip Chat on Beltway Radio and beyond.
Sweeps.
Soy. Welcome back to Chip Chat here on Beltway Radio and beyond. I'm your host, Chip. With me is Tez.
That's probably, yeah.
Before we get into it, I'll have to go back and find the episode, but we've talked about it at least a couple of times on the show that the NFL has a pipeline problem.
Yes, yeah.
That if they can't make this sport safe enough parents, specifically moms, won't sign the permission slips, and the only parents who will be the desperate ones who see football as kind of their only hope.
Right.
And so the level of talent will degrade. There was just this week from University of Maryland, the journalism program, and one of the best writers in sports, Mr. Blackistone himself, published this thing saying that this is in fact what's happening, is that white kids are not signing up for youth football anymore, and Black and Hispanic kids are still signing up for it at pretty high rates. And when they started polling and asking some of these people as to why, the answers were things like, it's the only shot we have at college, It's the only shot we have at, maybe they'll make the league and get us all out of poverty. It's the only the only thing there is to do in our town because it's unserved. We don't even have libraries and swimming pools.
That piece there is huge.
And it is the unfortunate echo of the danger of football that people are not seeing it as a sport, but they're seeing it as the only way out.
Right.
And that's terrifying. And we need to do something so that people don't feel like their only option is to sacrifice their children's concussions as a way to get out of poverty.
Yeah.
That's an alarm.
You can live a regular life. Because, also, too, I think if you look, especially at college changing now as well, too, that could be an area where you might be able to get paid.
And
that could be more, that could be enticing.
Imagine if we rushed resources and college to these communities.
Yeah.
That they didn't feel like a violent sport that increases your likelihood of serious brain damage by 15% for every year you play. That's what the study found. I wouldn't risk my kids on that if I had a choice.
No way.
And the NFL knows it, and the colleges know it. Everybody knows it.
Yeah,
we're all part of it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Everyone's complicit.
Hey, let's save it for No Filter Sports.
When we get on Brian's show, we'll talk about that some more and try to ruin his love for football, just like.
Look, I've done that since I've got around here.
I've been wearing nothing but national championship hats for weeks now. So
your love is strong.
Yeah. All right, now we've come to the part of the show called List Time.
Yes.
All right, so Russian, heavy air quotes, President Vladimir Putin has in fact been interviewed by former Fox News host Tucker Carlson. The Kremlin confirmed that on Wednesday, that's yesterday. It's his first interview with a Western media figure since the full-scale invasion of Ukraine 2 years ago. Carlson had released a video from Moscow on Tuesday in which he said he would be interviewing Putin. Carlson claimed that Western journalists had interviewed Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky multiple times, but couldn't be, quote, bothered to interview Putin. Okay, not only that, first of all, he's not going to grant an interview because he's Vladimir Putin. He's like maniacal, crazy dictator.
It goes against the press.
Yeah,
wait,
right.
A random Western press is to come and talk to me.
Any kind of press.
Any kind of press.
Yeah. Come on.
Where is it window?
Yeah. So, secondly, there was a lot of sort of scuffle about does Tucker count as a journalist? And no, he's not a journalist. He even said he's not a journalist several times in court. When he got sued, He's like, look, I'm not a journalist. I shouldn't be taken seriously. That's his lawyer said that. So anyway, that happened. Theoretically, the interview is going to be posted today.
On X.
I don't know where.
That's what I'm saying. What platforms? It's coming up after Bill O'Reilly, wherever the fuck he
is. Right.
I don't know where is this shit
on
coming
InfoWars?
Yeah.
Did you see the photo I sent you today?
God, yeah.
So, Tucker Carlson has been hanging out with your buddy Alex, I guess.
Turn the balls game.
Yeah. That photo looked to me like what happens if pills took cocaine and became human.
That's just a crazy picture, actually.
Anyway, without having actually watched this, which I'm definitely not going to do.
Can't be watching.
We sent the crack reporting team out to watch it.
Yes.
And they have returned to us some of the things that we learned in this interview.
Okay.
With Putin. All right. So you want to go ahead and you want the first one?
Yeah, I'll take the first one here. During the interview, Putin allegedly called Tucker, quote, the dumbest piece of shit he has ever met, quote. But the translator translated it as, quote, thank you for coming.
Yes. Tucker Carlson is so toxic that when Putin poisoned him, it bounced off.
What is it, the Novichok?
Can't damage a brain that doesn't exist. Yeah.
Anyways, number 3. Turns out they're both in the testicle tanning.
That's true. Yeah.
This is something. That picture is.
What? That's the one from the Tucker documentary about testicle tanning. Yeah. Yeah, you got to stand like that. It doesn't work otherwise. It doesn't work either. No matter how you do it.
Work. It's just like Titanic. It's higher. Titanic testicle tanning. Triple T.
I can't wait for the Doug Flutie, Frank Thomas ad for that.
Oh, God.
All right.
Oh, God. All right. Moving on.
Tucker's laugh made Putin so uncomfortable that he needed to bomb several villages just to calm down. Yeah. Tucker's laugh is one of the most unsettling things that you could ever observe.
If you heard that at night in the field,
so
it'd be very jarring.
You've ever heard a fox bark at night, right?
Scary.
And it's the scariest. Like, it sounds like a baby being murdered in the dark.
Yeah.
It's terrifying.
It's not a nice sound.
It's got nothing on the sound of Tucker Carlson laughing. That is the most unsettling thing I've ever heard in my life.
You know what?
And we live near Congress.
Yeah.
That's okay. Oh yeah, you're on number 5 there.
Number 5. There is now a Tucker Carlson P-tape.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
That's what happens if you're in the hospital. Amid tight security, Carlson was not required to submit to a full cavity search, but he insisted on having one anyway. Because that's what he's into, man.
Hey, look,
no judgment. Hey, man, whatever you're into, it's cool. You know,
not here to yuck.
Don't yuck the yum. I don't know what kind of yum that is, but
moving on. But I'm yucking it.
Nope.
For you.
Yeah.
Exactly. For you.
For you.
Exactly. For you. At number 7, it was reported that after the interview, Tucker was driven to the newest boutique hotel in Moscow. The window.
Yes.
There it is. Ran around to the window.
Brought it back around.
Hey.
He fenestrated that joke.
Yeah.
Ooh.
No.
Yeah. Okay. You want to take a break?
Sure. Let's take a break.
All right. We're going to take a quick break. When we come. Okay. And our guest is in the green room. We have a digital green room. Did you know that? We have new technology now. It's called the internet.
That's new.
Have you heard of it?
I've not.
No, it's new. We're on it now.
Where's my newspaper?
That's right. Turning the Frogs gang. We're gonna take a quick break. You're listening to Chip Chat on Beltway Radio and beyond.
Sweeps.
Now greetings to the world. Play by the King Love is all night, you know. Sounds brought to you courtesy of the man called Killer Mike alongside yours truly, Big Gangzilla. Yes, true boy.
Run like the spirited folks. Run like you got Holy Ghost. Run like you know they gonna love you the most. Run me my flowers while living at dinner. Just run me my toast. I used to run with a gun. Mommy would pray night and day for her devilish son. She would say Lucifer's using your women and money and drugs and you too blind to see. And I retort, mommy, ain't now we got money. I feel in our tummy, not just rice and peas. And I told her mama the trap is abundant and really it feel like a blessing to me. She looked at me spiteful and said to me, Michael, don't perish for greed. It's a devil's disease. God don't like ugly, I ain't one to judge. Whole lot of gold, Cubans with a ton. Say I kept it solid when it's all said and done. All I know is keep going, run, better run. Mama told me never fold, run, better run. You know, like Jenny told Forrest Gump, run, better run. The race for freedom ain't won, run, better run. Had to make it out the red clay, run,
some run of them MCs. When up bad like run the MC. And can't kill a mic like killer Mike. Them can't run next to me. Real revolutionary, this and up in a fight. Run off your mouth and see. Decipher the truth from the lies, cause we still have eyes. Run back the mats and free. Politician run like thief. Thief have a run from police. Blood still a run like water. Car gangster a run from beef. But water will run you a fee. Even though water should be free, still there is no running water pipeline in enough third world country. Yet them run them Ponzi scheme and them run all under the sea. Meanwhile be running risk and run red light to feed the family. And if money run like joke, nobody could not rich like we. Run with one prep school and one college and university. Car we running to be free. So whether long distance or sprinting, nobody can run fast like we. Everybody don't know they're running.
Right, so welcome back to Chip Chat here on Beltway Radio and beyond. I'm your host, Chip. With me is Tez.
What's up, yeah?
We are going to talk to Josh in just a second, but before we do, we have a segment to do, which is called The GOP Part 1.
The grandest of parties.
Yeah. All right. So this one is entitled Chip Feels Sorry for Jim Langford. Which I said this to my dad actually this week. I was like, this did a thing that I never thought I could do, which is feel bad for Jim Langford. He's a senator, I think. Maybe still really for now, not for long.
Christ. Oh, God. Maybe there.
From Oklahoma, I think, right? Is he Oklahoma or Kansas? One of those square states that nobody gives a shit about. All right, so here's what happened. People may know that there are several wars going on involving some American allies. There's also an entire war going on in Sudan right now that nobody is talking about.
Nobody's talking about.
That has displaced literally 10 times more people. Pretty bad. Nobody's talking about that. It's fine. We'll have another documentary movie about some white guy discovering that there is a place called Sudan, and we'll all sing about it without knowing what it is, and it'll all be fixed again.
Yeah.
It involves the same people, too, by the way. Okay.
Just no mention.
Yeah. So the two wars that are going on that matter in this country are Ukraine, which has been invaded by Vladimir Putin and his Russian, let's call it army. I don't know. Kind of barely an army.
Russian men.
Yeah. Conscripts. That's going on. And then there's also Israel bombing Gaza relentlessly. At this point, there's no other way to describe this.
Yeah.
So both of those countries, Israel and Ukraine, are at least allied with, or in some cases, Ukraine's maybe not officially an ally by the technical definition of the word, but doesn't matter.
Depends on the administration.
We've been supporting them in their efforts to repel Putin, and we've been supporting, as a country, the United States has been supporting Israel by selling them lots of weapons and giving them a lot of money. And before we get into any more of this, it is worth reminding people that when the United States gives military aid money to, let's say, Ukraine, it doesn't stay in Ukraine. Ukraine then buys stuff, bullets, tanks, whatever, from us. The money comes back to Americans who make the weapons.
Yeah.
And the companies that make those weapons.
Yeah.
So it isn't a giveaway to Ukraine. It is a giveaway to Raytheon.
You're asking for a lot. You're asking for a lot for people to digest on that, which I fully.
It doesn't seem that complicated.
It doesn't, but
if you want to buy an M1 Abrams tank, you can only buy it from the United States. So if we give you money to buy an M1 Abrams tank, you're giving the money back to us, and we're giving you a tank.
It seems very. I don't know why this is a hard, but again, it's easy to do that because people make it an issue. Because if you dumb it down enough, then you can kind of just the headline is we continue to give this money away.
We're not giving them money. We're giving them tanks.
And also too, it's like no one. This is also whether you believe in it or not, ideology in the sense of all right, democracies, and right, we could talk about that for fucking 4 or 5 hours on like what that means, but right, it's always going to be, I guess, under the guise of these are democracies. We think democracies matter.
Is good, so we stand up against. All
democracies matter.
All democracies matter. Even the brown ones.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless it's in El Salvador. All right, another episode. So the problem is we need to appropriate more money to
Congress holds the purse.
To give back to ourselves by passing it through Ukraine.
Very creative.
And so
nice little money
laundering.
Yeah.
So back in October, Joe Biden was like, yo, Congress, appropriate some money for Ukraine and apparently Israel, because that had just happened.
Right.
And Congress was like, hold your horses there, Joey B. We want some changes at the border. And Joe Biden was like, what does that have to do with Ukraine? And they're like, we don't know where Ukraine is, but we're pretty sure it's on the southern border. And Joe Biden was like, all right, idiots, whatever, just give us the money.
Yeah.
So it was at that point that Chris Murphy and Jim Langford and a few other senators were like, all right, let's hammer out a deal.
Bargaining chips on the table. Like, That's rare.
Everybody in Congress that cares about the southern border wants to change some stuff down there. Yeah. There's a lot of things that need to happen. Nobody thinks the current situation is good.
Right.
Democrats want more legal avenues for entry, faster process for adjudicating asylum cases, lots more support for people. Republicans want to close the border down basically completely, irrespective of various treaty obligations or whatever. And,
and farms
and economics,
but
whatever.
Who cares?
So like the opportunity for a grand compromise existed.
Yeah.
And these senators diligently worked for several months, hammering out the details of what was, as it was proposed, the biggest breakthrough in immigration policy since literally Ronald Reagan.
This shit doesn't, first of all, this shit just in general doesn't happen in this new state of affairs over the last 8 years. Just unlike
it hasn't
any
happened
bill.
in 30 years.
But like any bill. But I'm saying in like immigration alone, that Bush couldn't do that.
Bush couldn't do it in 06. Obama couldn't do it in 2015. This has been the hardest, thorniest issue in American politics besides guns.
Yeah.
And it is really.
I think we're resigned to guns at this point. Like, I don't ever kill everybody.
Yeah, it's fine. Mass shootings don't even make the paper anymore.
No, we're good on that.
It's fine. So, whatever. So they come up with a deal.
Yeah.
And before they even release the deal, the very same people, for example, one Mr. Mitch McConnell, get a message from Orange Jesus. And Orange Jesus tells them, you better not pass this immigration law while Joe Biden is president, because then I won't be able to run against his failed border policies in the election. And they were like, but I thought you wanted to fix the border. And he goes, no, you idiots.
I'll eat Mitch McConnell.
Like corn on the cob.
I'm ready.
What he wants is to have a racist policy that he can fan the flames of his racist base with.
And that's how he won. And if you think about 2016,
that's exactly how he did it.
Yeah.
So overnight, they all line up, including Jim Langford, to vote against their own law that they demanded in exchange for Ukraine and Israel funding. And then MAGA Mike Johnson has the audacity to propose a clean funding bill for Israel, and he won't even touch Ukraine because they're the Putinists. And he's like, why didn't you guys vote for this clean bill of funding for Israel? Like, hey, idiot, we're waiting on the compromise that you forced us to do last week. And he goes, well, we don't believe in that anymore. And it's like, what do you mean you don't believe in that anymore? Here's several clips of you saying this all over the place. That wasn't me. I didn't say that. I don't know what you're talking about. Those are fake tapes. It's all AI, whatever. Like, and the real magic of this is, like, everybody knows this is politics. And various people have come out and said, this is not policy-based, this is politics-based. They want an issue to run against. It's that Trump can literally tell the base that the stuff in this bill is bad for the border without ever having looked at it and without them ever having looked at it, even if that's objectively untrue, and that covers him for changing position. He didn't actually change position, they'll say. He's always been wanting to shut down the border. In fact, he would have shut down the border by now if he was president. And then people go, well, he was president for 4 years. Did he shut down the border then? Well, he couldn't because Congress wouldn't let him. Oh, so you're saying Congress does need to pass laws so the president can shut down the border? Yes. Well, then should they pass a law? No.
And guess what? People who are, I guess, around migration a little more like, yo, we want better and more like humane policies. Like, people are being shipped out. Like, there's a high amount of people that are making it to the border and being sent back.
Like, instantaneously.
It's not like the numbers are higher now than they ever were. So like it's almost like the things that they want are almost happening
already. But
what needs to happen again is some type of plan and policy.
Yeah.
Because that's what Congress is supposed to be there for. And you're not you're not going to stop people from coming to the border.
No,
So
not unless you invest in foreign aid, which is a thing that they apparently hate.
Yeah. So you need to come up with some mechanism at the border, which I thought this deal would be that. I mean, again, this is like and it all like nothing is radical on any sides of this. This is like a very moderate thing.
It's pretty moderate, but it's pretty conservative by.
Yeah, I mean, leans that way.
Yeah, and it's not anything that people have said that if the Republicans were in the White House and control of the Senate and they had proposed this same deal, no Democrat would vote for it.
No.
Which is true.
Yeah.
Because this is not
migration activists hate this.
I hate this.
Yeah, exactly. It's not good.
But I was willing to make the deal because I think that the funding is important and I think that there's
something
is better than nothing at this point.
And we used to be able to get to, all right, there's some type of deal.
If both fringes hate it, you know it's good.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
And that
sounds terrible, but yeah.
Yeah. And that's where we were. They voted against it. MAGA Mike called it dead on arrival. Unless Speaker Jeffries fixes it so that it happens. That's one of their flailing just examples of inability to govern. And there does get to be this question of, since they won't take yes for an answer, should we just stop playing ball with them altogether? They go, oh, well, we want to do this and to compromise. Look, asshole, no matter what you ask for, if we give it to you, you're just going to move the goalpost. I'm not playing with you anymore.
The schedule already dictates that there's not going to be able to be played. Right? If we think about it, you probably got maybe 4 months that you probably can run things through. And then once you get close to the summer recesses, then everything is baked at that point.
Not to mention that the government needs to be funded
oh my God,
in a week
Christ.
or two.
Oh God, I forgot that's not.
You forgot
I
that.
forgot.
All right,
I forgot that is not. Oh.
Put it this way: you've just scored a touchdown.
Yeah.
You need to kick an extra point, and here's the holder, Lucy. Are you going to bother, or are you going for two?
Gotta go for two.
Gotta go for two, right? Because you know what she's going to do. She's going to yank the ball.
Yeah.
So you just forget her altogether.
You got the odds make.
It's just no point. Stop playing ball with these guys. They say they want this in return for this. They're gonna fucking lie. They're lying. They're lying when they say it. They don't mean anything they say. Don't engage.
You can't, but you
stand on policy and let them flail around like a bunch of fucking morons that they are.
Maybe though, if you continue to showcase this and hey, we're here to play ball, and they keep failing, that also could maybe
that's
be a
good politics. Yeah. I mean, this is exactly
please don't do that with the funding.
This is the same thing that he did with the funding on the last deal where he okey doked them into the agreeing on the debt ceiling.
Yeah.
Right? Dumb Kevin made a deal with Joe Biden on the debt ceiling that Joe Biden would have been, he played it like it was hard. And Dumb Kevin was like, haha, we won. And Joe Biden was like, yeah, sure you did, buddy. 2-year suspension. Not even a number.
Yeah. Not
fucking moron. Please give Rex Tillerson a medal for this, by the way, with the fucking moron thing. But it's just, it is the hustling backwards thing. It's just so flawed their inability to govern, because that does bother people.
But their nominee has tremendous power.
Kind of. It's about to go to jail
but tremendous power for controlling that base, which what we're gonna say is 30%, probably. At this point.
Just about.
So I mean that. He can point that fucking gun wherever he wants.
He has, because here's a good example. The Congress attempted to impeach Homeland Security Secretary Alex Mayorkas.
Fail again.
Let's just point out they held hearings about this for months and turned up nothing.
Nothing at all.
Nothing. Marjorie who was leading this part of these hearings, told everybody that he had committed indictable offenses. That's indictable if you can read. Yeah. And then Jamie Raskin was like,
oh God,
he roasted the fuck at her. He's like, he hasn't done anything. He hasn't committed a felony. He hasn't committed treason or a high crime or misdemeanor or anything even indictable. He said, I was like, yo,
that's peak, right?
My guy. But so they tried to do the impeachment.
Yeah.
impeaching a cabinet member hasn't happened for 150 years. And the last time it happened was because they were caught like red-handed taking bribes. It was the Teapot Dome scandal. Come on. This was flimsy at best. And as we've said before, as Nancy, or as I call her, Nancy, says, you don't bring anything to the House floor unless you've got the votes. That's number one rule.
Yeah, because that's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
Nothing else matters.
So MAGA Mike is like, yeah, we're going to go ahead and vote on this. And everybody was like, well, shouldn't you count first? He's like,
counting?
I'm from Louisiana. I don't know how to count, he said. What? They're going to hear me down there? Maybe in New Orleans.
Yeah, nowhere
The rest
else.
of that state doesn't have electricity. So anyways, he knew going into it that he had 3 no votes already. He had McClintock from California, Ken Buck from Colorado, and Mike Gallagher of Wisconsin were all going to vote no. He knew that going in, but the margin was razor thin.
Right.
One of the reasons that he could only lose 3 and not 4 was that Steve Scalise was out. Why is Steve Scalise out of the House at the moment?
Is it cancer related?
He is getting treatment. Yeah. He's getting stem cell treatment.
Oh yeah. Oh God.
What did Steve Scalise vote to ban?
Oh God. Yeah.
Stem cells.
Oh, hustling backwards.
I love how he plays baseball though.
No.
Yep.
No.
All right.
No. That is no.
Yeah, that's definitely how we're doing that. So he knows.
Shooting at the wrong target, man.
Yo.
Shooting at the wrong target.
Damn. So he knows that it's razor thin, but they go ahead with the vote anyway. And it fails. But how does it fail?
Because defectors on his own party.
Well, the 3 of them voted no. And because they can't count.
They didn't know what's the name was what someone was missing, right?
They thought
they thought
Congressman Al Green of Texas was in the hospital for surgery. And so they could count on him not making it there. But when he heard that this vote was happening, all of this is true, he signed a waiver to release himself from the hospital, called an Uber, got in the car, came to the Capitol in blue hospital pants and tan socks in a wheelchair, went in, cast his vote for no, which was the tying vote, and then went back to the hospital.
This move is gonna be one that's in the history books of like people of wild votes.
Yeah,
like it's gonna be like
it's up there with McCain's thumbs down.
Thumbs down is gonna be
yeah,
it's gonna be one of those things. People like, what do you mean
he did what now?
What do you mean he drove?
What do you mean Ubered from a hospital?
Car? What like? Wait, on the road, huh?
Yeah,
the road where everything is flooded now.
You used to be able to drive
on that. Like,
how did your boat go? Exactly. On land? No, you had a land boat?
A land boat, exactly. No, this is an insane move. I don't know how this is. What is this? This is rookie. This is rookie behavior, right?
This is what happens when you have a speaker who has almost no experience. He was never in leadership. He's not even been a whip. He doesn't know anything.
You have to like that building. It maneuvers in a specific way, and no matter how folks think they can change it, it's like that shit.
There are rules.
There are rules.
It's HR 1 every Congress. It's the rules.
Yeah.
Which is the thing that says the one vote can vacate. I mean, it's like they're literally on HR 2. Yeah. You understand that? Yeah. They're on HR 2. They have not passed anything since HR 1, which was just we're going to be a Congress.
Yeah.
Okay. So after this, they all came out to their press conferences and like had all their spin, right? So Marge tells everybody that the Dems were hiding their votes. She's acting like Al Green was there, but like under a blanket. And he's like, ha ha, here he is.
Here he is.
He can vote. MAGA Mike told reporters that he had expected Al Green to be in surgery, which is why he held the vote. He said it out loud to the reporters.
Sick way to go about shit, man.
What does that say about you?
No.
When Johnson was asked by reporters how he planned to persuade colleagues to advance the measure in a future vote, Representative Joe Wilson of South Carolina responded that they needed to, quote, pray.
Joe, is this Joe Wilson?
The you lie? Yes, that is you lie, Joe Wilson.
You lie, Joe Wilson.
Yes.
I had never been
Joe, you lie, Wilson.
I had never been so offended.
Yeah.
I
don't know. That tan suit was pretty offensive.
Yeah. That's it. Pray? Isn't that what the
thoughts and prayers, baby?
That's what the Ravens owner said when they talk about when they're gonna go for Kaepernick to come in for a workout before his girlfriend said that shit beforehand. They said, what we need to do is pray.
Yeah.
What is his name? Biscotti or whatever his name is? Yeah, that Biscotti. I'm more than certain that it's true. He was like, we have to pray before he comes here.
I encourage the Republicans to try as many thoughts and prayers on this as they can possibly muster because it has worked so well on everything else. Here's another one, quote, I don't understand why they don't count the votes, said Representative Ralph Norman, also Republican of South Carolina, to reporters. He's like, I don't know why they didn't count before they did this. You know why? Because your majority whip is Steve Scalise and he's in the hospital right now.
Yeah, true.
You had nobody there who could count, apparently. How is this possible?
Yeah.
How are they this stupid?
They shouldn't be this bad.
I'm not this stupid. I don't know. Debatable.
No, I mean, was this the one where Santos was talking about? He was
so Santos tweeted out a picture of him and Dumb Kevin that said, "Miss me yet?"
Yeah, because
if Dumb Kevin and George Santos were still there, they would have got their votes. They could have passed it.
I don't know how they. I mean, I think they're gonna get mopped up. Mopped in November. There's no way in hell. Mollywopped in fucking November. Because this, I guarantee you, people are looking at this like it can't.
The House flips by 30 seats.
Yeah,
I mean, this is
catastrophically
bad.
A lot of motherfuckers are retiring. It seems.
Well, nobody wants to be part of this anymore, and anybody's in the
scary.
swing districts, they don't want to be part of it because they know they're gonna get trounced. And like even some of these ones that aren't Biden districts that Republicans currently hold, there are some that are sort of like moderate Republican districts that are going to look at this and go, we thought you idiots could at least keep the trains on time, and you can't even keep the lights on.
You can't count.
You can't count.
That's scary.
There's a purple vampire on the fucking television who teaches you to count when you're 3. 1 vote. 217 votes. Is not enough. What?
Doesn't make much sense.
It just is further proof that they don't have television in Louisiana because otherwise MAGA Mike would have learned from the count.
Instead of having that damn, what is it? He needs a different accountability partner.
Yeah.
A different one. He's a different one. There's somebody has to hold him accountable.
There was a tweet that said Mike Johnson got railroaded so bad his son's notifications went off. It's so good. All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a very short break. Hopefully Josh is still hanging out with us. And then we're going to talk to him about democracy, which, as you can tell, is an important topic on this show.
Democracy Manifest.
Yeah. In the worst possible way.
Right.
All right, you're listening to Chip Chat here on Beltway Radio and beyond.
Sweeps.
Maybe. All right, welcome back to Chip Chat here on Beltway Radio and Beyond. I'm your host, Chip. With me is Tez.
What's probably out?
That was an abrupt return. It's we have the best technology here at Beltway Radio.
We do.
We're trying. Also, shout out to the good folks at Hardywood for this hop keeper.
Yeah,
it is not exactly hop slam.
No,
but it's dynamite.
It is very tasty.
It's good stuff. Yeah. Could get us in trouble. It's only 8.5.
So that just brings up the slur.
Yeah, not the whole slur.
Yeah, not the whole slur.
Imagine thinking 8.5 is light beer.
Something's wrong with us. When you said that, I was like, ugh.
We're professionals.
Exactly.
Professional radio hosts. Okay. We like democracy on this show.
Love it.
We like other people who like democracy.
Please, more.
The primary activity in democracy is, of course, voting.
Yes.
See what I did there? Primary?
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. For most of us, most of our lives, voting has been a relatively smooth, simple, and even kind of boring process. But that is not the case currently. So when we got a chance to talk to someone who is on the front lines of voting, we jumped at that chance. Josh, welcome to Chip Chat.
Chip, how you been?
Hey, man, it's good to see you in sort of real life. Josh and I probably haven't seen each other in real life in 20 years, more than 20 years.
More. Dude, we've almost known each other 30 years. It's ridiculous.
It's a really long time.
Wow.
Yeah. Don't tell anybody that. All right. So anyway, that being said, I've known you a very long time. I had always assumed one day you would be working the poll. What made you want to volunteer for this job?
Well, I mean, look what's going on. I mean, I've heard in some locales, I live in New Hampshire. I'm in southern New Hampshire. So people are being threatened out of jobs. Not anywhere in my precinct. I haven't heard that. I don't want to spread any falsehoods that are going on around here. We've already got enough of that. Yeah. So I said, you know what? You can't really threaten me very easily. I'm Ukrainian. I'm Jewish. I've already got 2 targets on my back. Whatever. Do your best. I don't care. So I said, the last election I went to, I said, okay, I'd like to help. How can I help? And the moderator just said, you want to help? I said, sure. Okay, you can help. So there was a election that I was supposed to volunteer for that was just the city mayoral election, but I ended up having some oral surgery. I didn't make that one. Thankfully, I made the New Hampshire primary, which I've got to say, if anyone has the opportunity to volunteer to be a poll worker, do it. Like, I have very strong opinions politically. Chip can vouch for that.
True, very true.
We see eye to eye on dozens upon dozens of things. Many
things. So when you signed up, what was the training like, though? It's not like you can just go there and be like, yeah, I'm here to. I suppose if you're taking out the trash or flicking the lights on and off when it's time to go or whatever. But what was the training involved?
Webinars. That's what everything is now. It's either a Zoom, it's a WebEx. I'm a network engineer. I'm in them all day. So that's how I did it. Honestly, it's very straightforward. And I have to tell you, when you're sworn in to be a public official to do something, I'd never been sworn in before for anything, other than court years ago. That sucked, but we won't get into that. No. But in any case, it was an incredible feeling. Like, I saw people were coming in to vote, and I don't know how, but it was very easy for me to put my political feelings aside and thank every single voter that came in there for coming out to participate in the process. Because to me, there is no act more important that I can do as an American than to help uphold the concept of a free and fair election.
It's powerful.
Well said. Well said. I want to know how would you characterize your fellow election workers? There is a stereotype about who works these elections, and I want to know, is it true?
Like, are we talking stereotype like Drake or no? I'm kidding. Sorry, I saw that video way too many damn times the other day.
Toshiba.
No.
What stereotype? Okay, so how would you
there were some
characterize?
people that were older, but there were some people that were just maybe a few years older than me. In fact, someone else who had recently run for office, school board, in fact. But I can tell you with all certainty that I was the youngest person there by years.
There you go. So this is like a blanket statement to everybody listening, all 6 of you. Go volunteer, because
Do it.
This is critical. And the people who are doing it now, there's not enough of them. I don't care what demographic you want to talk about. There's just not enough.
No.
So I don't think anybody's ever been turned away from volunteering to work at a polling place. And also, people should know that the people who administer the elections, who are the professionals at this, not the volunteers, but the paid professionals, they've experienced a lot of turnover. A lot of people have left.
Yeah.
In part because, like what Josh said, people have been threatened, and the conspiracies are out there. And so, this might not be worth it for the county jobs. Don't pay that well.
Right.
City jobs don't pay that well. State jobs don't pay that well. They might not be worth it for you to have your family threatened for $50 grand a year.
Josh, around that point there, is there any outreach? I guess you could speak specifically to New Hampshire, but is there any outreach that happens from the locales to be like, hey, they know that's a problem.
Need people.
You kind of need you guys
to
blanketing
the airwaves.
No, I haven't seen anything. Not a thing. I mean, I literally went up and asked, and they looked shocked. Honestly.
And that's in New Hampshire, which is a state that basically the only thing anybody knows about New Hampshire. Well, they had that guy in the mountain, but he fell down. So now it's like, what does New Hampshire have? Voting, and it's in Canada. That's like the 2 things people know about New Hampshire.
Oh God.
What is it? Name me something you know about New Hampshire.
Liberty.
Live free or die.
Yeah, exactly.
That's on the license plate. That's right.
Yeah, that's what I know about New Hampshire. They don't like to be told what the fuck to do.
That's very definitely true.
Maybe that's why I can't get the fucking poll workers.
That's probably
shit. But we need them.
So, all right. So let's say there are people listening. Let's just pretend that there are people listening.
I'm listening.
How can people do this in their home jurisdiction? Is there even like a national, you want to volunteer website like healthcare.gov that would then click you through to your state registrars or whatever?
If there isn't, there should be. There definitely should be. My advice for you is to look up who your moderator is in your ward. At least that's how it works here in New Hampshire, and see how you can get involved. Or just call up your city hall. They'll absolutely be able to direct you to the right person to help you volunteer. I really wish someone would have warned me that Donald Trump and George Santos were going to be across the street from me when I got off of my shift.
No.
Yeah, that's true.
Gotta let you know. Gotta let me know that beforehand.
I was gonna say, couldn't you smell it?
I mean, I couldn't smell it, but I did end up having horrible diarrhea the next morning.
That
I'm
definitely tracks. Yes, George Santos would do that to you.
I mean, definitely. You know what? Not gonna go there.
Nope. That's too easy.
Josh, obviously you don't need an incentive to do this, but let's say you you didn't want to do this. What could they offer you?
They pay.
Do they give you donuts?
They will pay.
Oh.
I turned it down. It didn't feel right.
Right.
I was there to volunteer to do this and I was there to volunteer. I mean, it just didn't feel right. I just can't really explain it, but I didn't feel like being a whore for democracy.
Right. It can't. Once we get there, it's kind of I don't know.
I mean, I can work that poll. I am a poll worker. But
That's right.
anyway, and that is how you spelled it. Don't think I didn't
We
see
spelled
that.
it properly on the flyer.
Yeah.
So, are you going to work the general?
Yes, I am. You bet.
So the question there is, do you think that there is a danger of the election deniers volunteering for these jobs and kind of mucking up the whole process?
I mean, around here, I don't think so. I mean, here's the thing. Like, people are able to view. Anyone could come and view the counting process. People were taking pictures of me. There was a woman who asked exactly what I was doing, and I explained what we were doing, the reconcile, and I gave a very thorough explanation as to what we were doing. She said, "Thank you. That was a very good answer." I mean, I had news crews behind me. I was even told there was a crew there from Russia. And I wish I'd known that because I'm Ukrainian and I literally have "Go fuck yourself" tattooed on the back of my leg in Ukrainian Cyrillic. I would have loved to have rolling up my pant leg. Would have been great. But I mean, it was something. Sorry, getting over the flu and I'm a bit tired.
No, it's okay. If Tucker Carlson wants to interview you, would you do it?
I would, because I could tear him. Let's just say I could make him the goatsy man with my words.
Wow.
That's hilarious. So along the lines of like the people asking you questions in the news crews and stuff, do you think that if more people volunteered or were like at least, part of this process, that it would be less likely for some of these weird conspiracy theories to stick?
Yes, absolutely. It's how I say everyone should work a service job. Like, I mean, I've done retail. I've been a pizza delivery guy. Like, I'm high up. I work for a large bank now, like doing network security, and I really worked my way up. And I can tell you, because I did all of those things and I delivered pizzas for tips and whatnot, like, I know how things worked. I know how lucky I am to be where I am now. And because I was part of that process in volunteering for the election, there's nothing, I mean, I can't speak to anywhere else, but come on, this is just not what's going on. This is just obviously a narrative that was created because somebody lost and they couldn't take it. I mean, we know this.
It is really shocking. I mean, like, for example, the dust up where Rudy has to pay more money than Rudy's ever seen to the poll workers there in Georgia, to Ruby and Shay, that like
they deserve it.
They deserve it, but the accusations of that they were passing thumb drives and it was a mint, like
crazy.
These guys are supposed to be the experts, and they're conducting legions of supporters, and either they don't know better and they're just really stupid, which I think is probably the case in Rudy, or they do know better and they're willing to lie about it. If the people had any contact with this system, they'd never believe it. They would know better. No, that's just what the boxes look like, you dummy, move on. So like, do you think that there should be some sort of, I don't know, not necessarily a requirement, but like more of a push where like, I know that in other countries, this can't be that hard to find poll workers.
Dude, I don't even know what to say anymore. I mean, the things that I have witnessed happened in this country in the last 10 years. I mean, it's just the man is trying to spin a narrative. Back in 2016, when he first started that run, he went down to the Nuevo Laredo in Texas to say about how dangerous the border was. And here's why I'm laughing at that, because my wife and I went down to Austin in 2015. I've had this stupid lifelong dream. Always wanted to walk across an international. So we drove from Austin all the way down to Laredo, Texas, and we parked, and I walked across that bridge into Mexico. I had lunch. I bought some liquor. Some very nice men asked me if I needed Viagra or OxyContin. Like, lots of people, they just kept asking me. And then and the one thing I noticed about the Mexican side, Nuevo Laredo, the streets were clean. Everyone was friendly. It was way more well kept than the American side in Texas. And so, I came back. And as I was bringing back the liquor, I thought they were going to see what I was bringing back, and they were going to get me, and they were going to come after me because of a special type of rum I was bringing back. But all they said was, "Did you pay the Texas state tax?" And then they let me through. Thanks, Obama. But anyway, in any case, a year later, he goes down there and he holds his press conference for the dangerous border with Mexico. I look at my wife. I'm like, seriously? We were literally just there. The Mexican side felt safer. I have the pictures to prove it. And here we are all over again. It is whatever is going to fix their narrative. Fit their narrative, just like you were talking about earlier. The border was so important. The border is so important. But hey, here we are. Hey, finally, you've got everyone. All right, we're going to do something about the border. No, fuck you. We're going to wait and make this a campaign issue. I'm like, no, you don't want to fix anything. You want to write whatever narrative is going to get you into power. That's it.
I think it's very clear that the Republican Party has no interest in solving anything, but very specifically not the border, because
what are you going to talk about?
Yeah, how are you gonna get the white people riled up if you can't tell them that the dangerous brown people are coming across the border
to take the job?
They're gonna take our jobs. That you don't want it. Those well-paying lettuce cutting jobs.
Don't even get me started.
I've got 4 master's degrees and I'm picking lettuce.
Hustling backwards, just so crazy.
Crazy. All right, so we know it's a school night, and thank you for staying up. We already kept you well past your bedtime, which we appreciate.
All good, Chip.
Do you want to plug anything or tell anybody where they can follow you, or maybe not follow you if you don't want them to?
Honestly, I've got nowhere yet right now, but anytime you want to chat, I know people in Ukraine. I mean, you know me. I've always got an opinion. I'm happy to shoot the shit.
We'll definitely take you up on that. We've had people, even since the war kicked off, we've had reports from people that we know in Ukraine. We'll gladly take more of that. So we'll definitely connect with you on that.
We don't talk about, as I said, we don't talk about that enough anymore.
It's no. Well, you told us there's a 3-week cycle and everything.
It's over. Talk about it anymore.
Nobody's going to care.
Insane.
Remember when the pullout from Afghanistan was the biggest deal in the world?
Told you about that.
You told everybody that this doesn't matter.
People falling from planes don't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't even matter.
It doesn't matter.
No. All right, Josh. One more time, give a shout out for democracy and tell everybody that they should go do what you did.
Go down to City Hall tomorrow and ask them how you can get involved as a poll worker. Ask how you can get in touch with your ward's moderator. Just ask how you can get down there and do something. It is just so important, no matter how you feel about the people coming to vote and who they're voting for and what they're saying, to get out there and just be objective, be completely nonpartisan, and uphold that sacred principle that we have to make sure that we don't lose what we've worked so hard to build, which is in so much danger of disappearing.
Well said. Can't beat that. All right, that's it. We're going out on a break on that. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you, Josh.
I will send you a message afterwards, and we really appreciate it. We're going to take a break. Everybody, you're listening to Chip Chat on Beltway Radio and beyond.
Sweeps.
System, the company store, the paradigm of absolute control. And that's why we're just out here doing simple things, pointing out that we're meant to be in nature and be natural. And this is where we find the source that God made to transcend the New World Order. And that's why they want to try to keep us out of it.
I'm angry. I've had enough of these people. They're a bunch of Christian murderers, scum. They're one giant death factories, keeping babies alive and selling their body parts. What more do you need to know about these people? I go out and face these scum. They literally crawl out from under rocks. They have green looking skin and they run around screaming, we love Satan, we wanna eat babies. I have them on video. Hillary's in the creepy weird sick stuff, man. She sleeps in the same room with that creepy weird woman whose mother wears a hood over her head. What the hell? That woman number one is night she smells, man. I'm told her and Obama just stink. Obama and Hillary both smell like sulfur. Literal vampire pot and the goblins are hobbling round coming after us. My spirit gets close to that evil and I feel it go. We're such self-centered crap. We don't even notice hell itself rising up against us. Millions of pointed people of the very worst type, and I'm so pissed. We're gonna stab your daughter at the mall. We're gonna stab your wife, your son. We're gonna stab you with a butcher knife, and then the police chief is gonna say, we love our Somalis, we love our Muslims. Oh, they're so good, oh, they're so sweet.
I'm sick of all these witches and warlocks. You're full of shit. Pumpkin possums, I'm sick of it.
You keep interrupting me.
And all of it's lies. Because you're lying. That's why. Oh, there's energy and oh, now we're done with Trump. You said he was the Messiah. You said he was invincible. I will not suffer your Q people after this. I knew what you were day one. I know what you are now. Witches and warlocks are full of shit. Pumpkin possums, I'm sick of it.
You keep interrupting me.
And all of it's lies. Because you're lying. That's why every goddamn thing out of your people's mouths doesn't come true. You said it was all over. You told us the stuff. You. Oh, God. Witches and warlocks, you're full of shit. Pumpkin possums, I'm sick of it.
You keep interrupting me.
And all of it's lies. Because you're lying. That's why witches and warlocks are full of shit. Pumpkin possums, I'm sick of it.
You keep interrupting me.
And all of it's lies. Because you're lying. That's why. Because every god thing.
Why is that evergreen?
Welcome back to Chip Chat here on Beltway Radio and beyond. I'm your host Chip. With me is Tez.
What's popping up?
That was Tez watching Alex Jones, which continues to be our favorite thing on this show. So we came right off a segment where we were glorifying
That's good. You can't get
democracy.
off a segment about the poll workers saving democracy. You go put in that guy right after it. Antithesis of democracy.
Yes. Shout out to Brian, our producer, who plays that so perfectly every time.
So goddamn sick of you.
All right, so remember earlier we said that was GOP part 1.
I don't remember.
Time for GOP part 2.
I like a GOP.
No, I don't think he does. I think
he doesn't.
No, I don't remember where he is on this now. It changes on a weekly basis.
Independent?
No, I don't know. He loves Tucker.
Gay frog?
Yes, again. Turn the frogs gay.
That's not funny. I think Sandy Hook was a fucking.
He doesn't think that. He's just saying that. He doesn't believe any of this stuff.
I don't know. Say it long enough.
Possible.
Yeah.
All right. So, anyway, that made me laugh so hard. I spilled a little bit of my Australian beer here. Australian beer doesn't fall; it rises because they're upside down. So if they spill the beer, it falls upward.
Reverse gravity.
Crocky. Right. This little bit here is called Trump trial defeat. So
it's like Jonathan Swan.
Yeah. It's the most famous Aussie news reporter, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe, I guess.
Think so, yeah.
Didn't he marry the PBS lady, Woodruff?
Isn't, what's her name? Never mind, I'm not going to go there. I was like, isn't Murdoch a reporter?
No. No.
That's the most famous one I know.
Nah. That Nino, the wrong cut I picked. No, okay.
So,
So Trump has a lot of trials going on.
yeah,
You may have noticed.
just a lot.
It's basically every day.
Yeah.
So one of the things was about this immunity stuff. And he's like, I'm immune to prosecution because I was president. And his
Article 2.
yeah, it says I can do anything I want. It says right there. So Smoke Show Alina Habba tried to that's her name now.
That's crazy.
Tried to argue in court that he was immune from anything because he was president.
Yeah. You know,
And
send
so
SEAL Team 6 in to kill people.
Yeah.
It's okay. As long as you don't get impeached.
That's
crazy.
so
Anyways,
so the judge in the case, Tanya Chutkin, was like, no,
come on.
no, fuck out of here. So Smoke Show Habba was like, appeal. Okay.
Cool.
Goes to the DC Circuit. The 3-judge panel on the DC Circuit listened to this drivel. Unfortunately, because they have to. And then they performed what is known in judicial parlance as a bench slap. If you've never heard that word before, you're welcome. They bench slapped them. At public arguments in January, the 3 judges expressed concern over the most extreme implications of Trump's view, with one suggesting it would allow a future president to order the assassination of a political rival. But in their opinion on Tuesday, they said it is Trump's own alleged crimes, quote, an unprecedented assault on the structure of our government that threaten democracy if left beyond the reach of criminal prosecution. Quote, we cannot accept former President Trump's claim that a president has unbounded authority to commit crimes that would neutralize the most fundamental check on executive power, the recognition and implementation of election results. Nor can we sanction his apparent contention that the executive has carte blanche to violate the rights of individual citizens to vote and have their votes count.
It's impossible if you do this because at that point you invalidate just the whole system of government, right?
Yeah,
Because
it's not government anymore.
and
It's not
right
representative government
at
anymore.
all, because the whole reason that you have 3 branches and the check on the power, they all are like, again, people like the shit is kind of ingenious if it worked, if the way it's supposed to work.
Madison's a genius.
Yeah, if the way it's set up to work, I get it. Like it makes a lot of sense. But if almost even for judges, and I think about this for the Supreme Court as well too, they would almost be ruling against themselves.
Right. They'd be kneecapping their own power.
Yeah, and
Who
who
would do
that?
nobody would do
I don't
that.
understand that piece.
I don't think it's going to happen, but so the ruling goes soundly. It was unanimous. All 3 judges against him, including one appointed by HW, and then 2 others. And so now it's going to go to the Supreme Court, which was busy today.
Yes.
Hearing the Colorado ballot tossing thing.
Football right there.
All right, so they're going to rule 9-0.
Easy. Can't do that.
Can't do that.
You
can't let one state dictate the rules of the others. This has to be a federal issue, and that's how they're going to settle it without having to take a stance on whether or not he committed insurrection.
Insurrection? What?
They don't want to touch that with a 20-foot pole. They found a procedural way out of it. So what is your prediction on these twin rulings? Because we're going to get the hearing on the immunity case on Monday, which if you thought that today's wall-to-wall on the Colorado ballot tossing case was nuts, because there was really kind of no point to this. CNN was wall-to-wall. MS was wall-to-wall. NPR had special coverage of it. I doubt Fox News was covering it, but it just didn't seem necessary because you kind of knew where this was going to go. But the Monday immunity thing, that's going to be interesting.
I guess I lean towards Gorsuch and neighbor Clarence being them 2, and the rest.
You think it's Gorsuch, not Salmon Alito?
Well, I guess I would put it 3. Yeah, there's Alito, because again, are they going to invalidate their own power?
So
I don't know. That's why I don't know. Like, this is very interesting. Who does it? Could it just
that's the question?
Yeah,
here, right?
Like Amy is gonna obviously. I don't think
she's too new. She's gonna do what Robert tells her.
Kavanaugh, same. I think. Yeah, it's hard to figure out that. I guess Alito. I don't think Alito even like. Yeah, no. I think Gorsuch and friggin'
why Gorsuch?
I guess I would lean to. I mean, but even then, just being appointed by the man doesn't necessarily mean that. I don't know. I couldn't give I don't have a good answer for that one there of why on that. For some reason, I feel like it's going to be that. Or there's just Clarence that sits alone.
So Clarence isn't going to ask any questions because he doesn't. And I think that Alito believes in the unitary executive. And so he's going to be the one out there who's going to ask these questions of why shouldn't the president be allowed to do anything? Because the immunity question, when it was adjudicated here by the 3-judge panel of the DC Circuit, was the question of what's the logical extension of this?
Because my thing is as well too is that I guess they're arguing that the things he did it while president, so he's. But you're no longer like being president ends. For now.
Yeah, so they were clear that he's citizen Trump now, and therefore he's not president and he's subject to the laws. But the Trump argument is that presidents need blanket immunity because otherwise, the second they're out of office, they're going to be indicted by the opposing party. And the rejoinder to that is that's never happened before because none of them have tried to overturn the results of an election.
Yeah, and also too, let's just say if it pick Nikki Haley. If she was become president, I don't think we'd be in the same situation.
It's not, it's exactly not that.
It's not like there's not going to be anybody else who tries this.
Let's take something concrete and objective. Obama ordered drone strikes on American citizens who were abroad and did it.
Yeah.
Is that an indictable crime? Possibly. Was it committed as an official act while he was president? Yes. What Trump did was not an official act because he wasn't acting as president.
And a drone strike also for that, depending on the powers that we've given the president in certain war times, y'all have already ruled on that. Now, a person just saying the election is false and sending their people to go and run
literally violently tried to hold on to power. That's
come on now. What are we talking about?
So when the Trump argument is that this would happen to every other president if this is allowed to go forward, the DC Circuit was like, well, it hasn't before because nobody's ever tried any of this. What you did is extraordinary.
Yeah.
There have been 44 other presidents before you
in
and
more
one
precarious
after.
Situations than what we were in.
Vastly. And none of them have pulled this shit. Nobody has ever come close. And it's
because we don't want to invalidate the rules on the parchment paper.
Yes.
We don't want to do that. No one wants to get there.
But for the Republican Party as it currently is constituted, they do. They aren't interested in adherence to, they're no longer small c conservatives. They're using this word conservative, but it doesn't mean conservative. They're not adherent to the Constitution. Yeah, it's a cult. They're not adherent to the founding fathers or documents or anything. They're just adherent to him. And if he changes his opinion on anything on a given day, they all change their opinion on it the same day. Case in point.
Some are trying to figure out where his opinion is going to go ahead.
Yeah, they're waiting. Some of them are straight up. They keep their powder dry, and they're like, yeah, well, we'll wait and see. And they're outright saying it. Whatever Trump tells me is why I'm going to vote. Jim Langford put forward a bill that for the Republicans is like a puppy that shits gold.
Yeah.
It's the cutest thing in the world, and it makes you better and happier every time it fucks up. And they voted against it because their dear leader told them not to. That's the problem. That's the problem in this case. So I think it goes pretty simply. Clarence is obviously in the bag, right? Because his wife was part of the insurrection. Yeah. She funded the whole thing.
Shouldn't even be
He funded the whole thing. Let's just be honest. It's not like they have separate bank accounts here. So neighbor Clarence, definitely. I think Sam and Alito believes in the unitary executive, and the other 7 are like, nah, this is completely, they don't want to give up their own power. They think it's constitutionally ridiculous, or, they're institutionalists and they don't want this to go. And it's a split rule because they're going to let him stay on the ballot.
Yeah.
And then they're going to rule against the immunity claim. And they're going to hope that the rest of the legal system and the courts and the voters handle their business so that they don't have to put their stamp on it, because Roberts doesn't want to touch nothing with a 20-foot pole.
It's like court-on-court crime.
Yes.
Is that like, if depending on the ruling on this, it's like if you choose to say like he's immune, nothing else matters at that point.
If SCOTUS overturns DC Circuit on this immunity thing, it's literally a riot.
Yeah,
there's no government at that point.
It's over with at that point.
Pull me over? Fuck you.
Yeah, no, I mean,
I'm sorry, I have immunity. I was acting officially as a president of Chip Chat.
Because then what that removes you from being is almost a citizen of the nation, just
the nation doesn't exist.
The nation isn't, because again, there's no rule of law,
right?
And we're kind of like already teetering on is there a rule of law or is there not? That really would just be like the stamp, right? And then indelible ink that there is not.
That's not. Yeah. So I think it's 7-2.
7-2. Yeah. I mean, Alito and Clarence makes more sense. That's all 3 of them guys go.
Gorsuch,
Alito, and yeah.
I don't see Coney Barrett giving up power. I don't see Beer Can Brett giving up power.
No way in hell as well, too.
And I don't see Gorsuch giving it up either, because he voted against Trump on several other cases. So, I mean, Oklahoma is all Indian territories, according to him. And you got that right. So
yeah, that is true.
I
could go to this whole place is Indian territory. I might be out here trespassing.
It is.
I'm trespassing.
You're trespassing against your will.
Yeah, I guess.
You didn't mean to.
I didn't want. God, that's the God honest truth right there. Didn't ask to be here.
Didn't even ask to be in Cuba.
Yeah, no, not at all. No, not the one I love.
Be somewhere in Sierra Leone or whatever.
Somewhere enjoying life.
Yeah.
Come to visit my Native American brothers.
Yeah. I'd be dancing in the shtetl someplace.
Yeah, and all the other folks are over here. I mean, the Black Plague almost got motherfuckers out of here, yo.
I'm just saying. Come back. I mean, it would have been cool.
Come back. They came back from 40 with anger and hate.
Yeah.
And boats.
They're like the Patriots at halftime.
They was dead.
The Black Plague was the Atlanta Falcons.
Yo, and
they're like, 28-3, eh?
Hey, shit.
Watch everybody else.
Watch me work.
Watch me burn this place to the ground.
Fuck.
The savages. All right. Speaking of the Republicans being completely out of control and in a cult. Okay. There's a primary contest going on. I know it sounds ridiculous, but
stop it. Yes, there is.
Nikki Haley is still technically running.
Democracy, all right?
Yeah, Nikki Haley is still technically running
a good fight. She is about to be a thorn in their side.
Yeah.
She's not going to get out.
No, but
it doesn't matter.
They don't care.
A lot of nastiness is happening. A lot of nastiness is happening on that other side there.
Good.
I'll take that. The biggest criticism over here is sleepy, as someone would say. I'll take that's better criticism than what's happening on the other side.
Don't listen to special counsel.
All
right. So here's the thing. Nevada is a state.
Yeah.
It's an important state. It's a swing
Super Bowl's
state.
about to happen.
The Super Bowl is going to happen there. But it's a swing state. And it's got 2 Democratic senators currently. It's got a Democratic governor. But it's kind of right on that edge.
Yeah.
There's enough electoral votes in play there that it matters. So everybody's paying attention.
Yeah.
Nevada also is an early primary state. And so they did a little finagling themselves. And they passed a state law that said that they were going to have a primary instead of a caucus. And the Republican Party was like, well, you can have your primary, but we're going to have a caucus regardless. And the Republican Party decided that their delegates for the convention would only be awarded out of the caucus, not the primary. And they set party rules that said you could only participate as a candidate in one or the other. You can't be a primary and a caucus, you got to be one or the other.
Pick a side.
Pick a side. So Trump was like, oh, yeah, I'm going to the caucus. Trump loves the caucus. Loves receiving the caucus. So
Sounded weird, huh?
this dick. Thank you. He got indicted. So 4 times. So hey,
Marathon man.
So Nimarata Haley decided that's her given name.
Stop doing that.
Not making that up. It's not helping.
It's not helping at all. That's very. You're taking their own shit and doing it against them.
No, I'm also degrading her for abandoning her roots. Or going by this fake name.
She had a rough upbringing.
Did she?
Being brown in South Carolina.
With a lot of money. Yeah, it must have been tough. Her doctor parents. So anyway, Nimarata decided she wasn't going to run up against Trump in the caucus. So she was going to go on the primary, which even if it wasn't going to get any delegates at the GOP convention,
it shows people.
It shows that people support her.
Yeah.
So she was like, that's it. We're going to run in this primary. And that was the next contest after New Hampshire, where she did not win, but declared victory and left.
Crazy. Yo, I'm telling you, thorn in the side. And
talk about election denier.
Yo, and that man, the orange man, was pissed. He didn't even care he won. He was like, he was pissed.
He was so mad, he put extra ketchup on his overdone steak.
He was so mad, he brought out black and brown people behind him.
Yeah, he let Vivek talk.
Yo,
and he hugged Tim Scott.
I just love you, man.
You know how that must have, yeah, that's so funny. You know how bad Trump had to feel like touching Tim Scott? He was like, ugh.
Usually the only people that touch black NFL players.
Yeah, not even that.
No.
He just waves at him.
That's true.
Yeah. I was afraid he was going to get on me. I couldn't wash it off. His hands were so much bigger than mine. So, all right. So Haley runs in the primary and she's like, all right, at least I'm going to get, some votes and get some attention. And she did. She got some votes. She got 21,257 votes. That sounds like a lot. Unfortunately, none of the above got 44,219 votes.
Yo.
She literally
Thank
lost.
you, Booster.
Hey.
Yes, she literally lost.
Oh my God.
To none of the above.
Not good.
Not good.
Did she claim victory?
Actually,
No.
she's been relatively quiet
on this one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything. Tim Scott got 955 votes, by the way.
You know what?
Shout out. That's a lot of fake Canadian girlfriends.
I don't know who the fuck that is.
955 people.
Nevada?
In Nevada. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Probably convention goers.
Right.
Right. There it is.
Heath Fulkerson, whoever that is, got 90 votes.
Who are you? Who are you?
I don't know.
Heath. First of all, we're still making Heaths.
I guess so. Donald Kjornis, I'm guessing Kjornis, I don't know, got 143 votes, and Hirsch Singh got 184 votes. Oh, John Castro got 238 votes. There you go.
Okay.
So
Castro's out here winning.
all together, if you add them up, they got half of what Tim Scott got.
Nevada's very tricky, though. I was listening to the run-up about Nevada, and just like they were in a barbershop and they were kind of highlighting Hispanic voters, specifically Hispanic men. And the thing we know right now is that Hispanic men and Black men specifically are
susceptible to this ridiculous Trumpness.
And it's interesting as well, too, because it's kind of like, it almost feels like half like meme culture, half kind of like fuck the system in a sense. Like, we'll let the shit burn the fuck down because what the fuck, it's interesting. Like the highest, I was listening, I got some data from a pretty reliable source that was like, some of the trends in media right now are different, right? And where people consume media isn't not sitting down at 7 o'clock and watching the fucking night.
They're not.
It's on TikTok. And like the last thing that really charted heavily on TikTok was, I believe, a black man from Baltimore kind of saying, hey, I'm in a Democratic city. I'm in this, and like what is happening? Like I vote and I vote and I vote for these individuals, and I don't see any difference. I'm very empathetic to that.
I get it.
I'm very empathetic to that because, right, like proof is in the pudding on that. I just don't, on the flip of that, I don't see how you could look to say we'll be okay with just like lighting a match to shit. And I don't think that, like, there's a lot of people I think who kind of are okay, like almost like chaos theorists almost in a sense. Where
it's
like
nihilism.
Yeah,
really.
It's nihilism is really what it is there. And it's like, I hope that we can kind of look at this and be like, it's easy to do that. It's easy to do that piece of it. And I understand democracy is hard. And I do think, and I think I couch this across the whole country. A majority of people in this country are disenchanted with the process. They don't want, it's too hard for them. And this is
it depends on them being informed, being participants, being a part of the system, and that's hard to fit in.
However many hundreds of local newspapers and local news sources closing every year doesn't help.
No.
So it's almost like, and I mean, this gets tricky where like funding into that, because you kind of need this local press to make this shit work. Like, because national news has now become the only thing people it's almost morphed into like local and national news is the same thing. And the national policies, I think, that people see, they just really frustrates them. And I guess in these specific communities, they're like, yo, fuck this. Like, all right, we're like, and also like one of the things that was really striking is like, I mean, which is so scary to me, is like Trump keeps us entertained. And this country is very susceptible to just being entertained.
Yeah, it's
like
but people who fall for that, I mean, honestly, this isn't the thing to be entertained by.
That's the thing. You're in this drama.
Yeah, this isn't a TV show.
It's not a TV show. And I always say this, like, if I was watching this from afar, happening in some other country, I'd tune in every fucking
It'd be hilarious.
If it came on Saturday at 8 p.m., I'd be there every Saturday at 8 p.m. to watch this shit unfold every week. There are real lives that'll be affected by this. And when it starts happening to one group of folks and like the snowball, again, I don't know what else to call it, but fascism starts rolling in your country, hard as shit to kind of kick it.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
And I also have noticed that oppressed groups are often the most susceptible to the conspiracy.
Yeah.
So, there's an election in Pakistan going on right now.
God.
Right? Imran Khan is in jail.
Yeah.
And his supporters are running as independents against the military, essentially, and Nawaz Sharif and this whole thing. And like, Pakistan is a country of conspiracy.
Yeah.
There's no baseline truth in that country at all. And the more oppressed you are, or the more out of favor or out of power you are, the more likely you are to believe in this nutso conspiracies and start saying things that are just completely verifiably bullshit. And there is no group of people in this country that have been more oppressed than men of color.
Yeah, there's not that.
And so, well, women of color, maybe even more so, I guess, but people of color.
Yeah.
Okay. So like the susceptibility to the conspiracies, because every time you try to believe in the facts and the facts are on your side and they still don't pan out, why stick with it?
And I think specifically to the Hispanic voters as well, too, any Hispanic person in this country is going to be like, yo, we're the fastest growing people. Like, and like someone made a very good point on this where they were like, it always feels like in this country, it's a black and white issue. And you got this huge growing group that's kind of like, yo, we could throw a wrench in all this shit.
Yeah. But they're not a monolith.
They're not. That's definitely not.
That's the thing.
So what wrench they want to throw?
When you hear them say Latino voters, and they're talking about Venezuelan and Cuban exiles.
They want to close the fucking border too.
Yeah, they're not the same as Central South American and Mexicans. They're not in the same category.
Yeah,
because they're not. They don't even think of themselves in the same category.
No.
So
and they don't think that their issues are being heard. And like the Trump as the everyday man is really weird to me. I don't know how that gets pulled. Like, all right, like
because he talks like it.
Yeah, like he talks that, but like the facts are there. And like the same thing, even with like Joe Biden, like I don't look at him as like the everyday man. I mean, he's been a career.
Except he is though.
Yeah, I mean, yes, I mean from the train, but like he's ascended in a sense through politics, where both of these individuals, right, are far away, right, at this point. I think at this point they are. Now, not the train riding Joe Biden, but no one's thinking about that. No one cares.
Nickel coffee Joe Biden.
That shit is dead. That no one is.
But he still doesn't have any real money. I mean, not comparatively.
Yeah, I mean, comparatively.
I know where his house is in Rehoboth. It's near my parents' condo. It's nothing to write home about.
Fair, but again, both of these, but I don't want to make it seem as, oh, I think anyone who's already been president, I think once you become president, you kind of eclipse everything at this point.
Like sure.
Like that, but also too, I don't want to drink a beer with my fucking president. I don't like these are certain things like
I definitely drink a beer with Obama.
The everyday man thing of this is kind of like, no, I need you to be sound on policies. I need you to be able to fund the government, like very basic things. Like I need you to not cause chaos and pandemonium. And there's one individual who causes chaos.
I agree with that, what you just said, but at the same time,
hold on, let's be clear. Brian, as the white guy on the show, has opinions. Yeah. Go ahead, white man.
Yes. I still believe the fact I need a relation, some form of ethical eye contact to understand that we're here. Like the old school Martin, it was like,
I get that.
Here.
I get that.
But the thing is, it's like whatever Trump is saying, it's hypnotized. He's hypnotizing people. And I feel like even though he's claiming, oh, we're here, really, it's like, no, we're not. And everybody else is blinded by that. They're a zombie to whatever he's saying because of the fact that he knows full well he's selling bullshit. And they're not believing, they're accepting his bullshit.
One of Trump's great skills as a marketer and as a huckster is that he can talk for hours and say nothing. Nothing. And everybody listening hears exactly what they want to hear. She was wearing a very fancy dress. Maybe it wasn't so fancy. What the fuck does that mean? It's not just word salad at this point. It's word puree. I mean, it's
marmalade.
It's just blended sounds at this point. It may as well be Enya music. Like it's just background noise. But if you want to hear, who does she think she is wearing that fancy ass dress? Well, you just heard it. And if you want to hear, well, she's dressed pretty nicely and women need a little more support than hey, Trump says he supports women. Both things people can hear in that statement.
Yeah.
And he says nothing all the time. When I was president, we didn't do this. I'm still president. We don't do this. And you're like, yeah.
I don't think some of that is not true. All of it.
All of it's true. And none of it's also some of it true. Like the people who are listening to this, the people who are getting swept up in this are all functional human beings. They're not idiots.
Yeah.
And it's foolish. We've done it on this show and written them off as just a bunch of fucking morons. They're not a bunch of fucking morons. Despite what I said literally 35 minutes ago.
Yeah.
The people they're able to operate. They're able to go to work and drive trucks and
follow other rules
and compute accounting and do all kinds of other things that are complex problems that they can solve. And then they get to this thing and they can't solve it. They can't apply the same critical thinking skills that allows them to sort out a budget to this man. And what is the thing that is allowing that to happen?
I mean, it's willful at a certain point, right? I think I think it's just a community of folks, and it's hard to get people to turn on their community.
Ask me if Harbaugh's going to San Diego.
There you go. Exactly. Right. There it is. I can get why the electorate is disenchanted by this rematch.
Oh, for sure.
Like, do I think this is kind of good for like the whole idea of America? No, not at all.
I think this is as close, honestly, as we've ever come to a parliamentary system in this country, because at least for the Democrats, we're not specifically voting for Joe Biden. We're voting for
the continuation of
the team, the Obama Biden team. You know,
I would even say I look at this as we're voting for a continuation of the system
of democracy. Well, no
one buys that shit, but like that's not moving the needle. Like for me, that moves the needle because I'm like everything else you care about.
Because you've seen what not democracy looks like.
It's very scary. Like
but other people don't know. And
I'm just talking about. I've read what it looks like. I can't even imagine living in it. I can't imagine when things you like, because it happens so fast. The snowball of this happens so fast, and then you got secret police fucking moving, and like
Stasi be right out
and
there.
Who could do it better than the United States of America?
Oh, sure.
Who could?
We already have.
Yeah, we've done this before. Like right exactly. Like some could but some might say we're still living in that. But like when it gets real, like it's gonna happen fast, and like I just don't. Again.
But I'm just saying, like, the parliamentary aspect of this is that when people vote Labor or they vote Tory, they're not specifically voting for a candidate. They're voting for a slate.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're voting Democrat for a slate that Joe Biden is the head of.
Yeah.
By virtue of the way that our system works. But we know as Democrats, because we understand how government works, to be honest, that Joe Biden is not the one making every single decision, that there is a team, that there's a staff, that there's a cabinet, that there's all kinds of people. But on the Republican side, there's only one person making decisions.
Right.
And there is no room for anybody else. There's no team. There is no cabinet. Shit, he probably doesn't know. I mean, one of the most telling things was that when Trump won and he came into office and he met with Obama, which was supposed to be a very short 10-minute meeting, and it went on for 90 minutes. One of the things he asked is, does all this stuff come with the White House? And Obama said, no, you need to hire 1,400 people just to run, your cabinet. And Trump went, I only know 200. Like, that's the problem. And as time went by, and the adults in the room left, the consolidation of the decision-making concentrated around this one well-done steak-eating, ketchup-soaking motherfucker who really won't let anybody else make another decision and will backtrack on his own decisions at the drop of a hat.
I think now what makes me more worried even than before in 2016 is that the only thing that I look at is the Heritage Foundation in this 25 plan.
Oh God.
I think that might be the most.
We don't have enough time to talk about that.
Like you probably need to vote like
that's the most sinister thing you could possibly imagine.
now like the whole idea of the executive and like people like Barr, people like Sessions and all those folks who believed in that, like the playbook, like there's a better playbook that's been written now. And if they're able to gut like that when that happens, that's when your country's
so
gone.
Now you're looking at both Congress and SCOTUS vacating their own power.
Yeah.
Are they likely to do that?
I don't think
so. I mean, you have a compliant Republican House, but I don't think you have a compliant Republican Senate yet.
No.
But it's coming. This border Ukraine deal, it kind of shows it.
Yeah.
Cocaine Mitch is not running the show over there anymore.
No. There's only, like you said, there's only one person who runs that show. I think that, but again, that 2025 plan they have is just like, if they can execute
It's
that,
terrifying.
if they execute that, you
They're
fundamentally
going to execute
change-
us.
Yeah, eventually.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Yeah. No, not eventually. In 2026. I mean, we'll be next.
Fuck that. Resistance.
Well, yeah. We'll try.
Look,
Pirate radio.
Pirate radio. Fuck that.
Be broadcasting.
I
from
know
a-
what oath of allegiance I fucking pledged to. I signed up for this shit.
The Wizards?
The Wizards. No, I gotta pledge against the new Grand Wizards.
Oh, yeah,
Jesus
those
Christ.
guys. All right. That brings us to another segment that is relevant to you. This is called a Q&A for Tez.
I gotta be delicate here.
All right. So many people are saying that you're British.
Many people.
Yeah.
I am.
Best people, all the people. Only the best people are saying.
Tezzy Blair.
Yeah.
New Labor. Cordy Cameron.
I want to caveat this with a blanket statement before we even talk about royal stuff. That Tory bullshit is Tory bullshit. I
There
don't
you
care
go.
whether it's in American clothes or Israeli clothes or anything else. Tory bullshit is Tory bullshit.
Tory bullshit.
Yeah. Okay. So you are British.
Yes, I am.
You still have a passport from there?
I just sent my British passport. Cost me a decent amount of money through FedEx to get renewed. So they just got it 2 days ago.
So you can escape.
I made sure I get the other one fixed a little bit, just make sure we're good to go. I can only escape though. I can't escape to Europe any longer.
No.
I can only escape to
You get to Britain.
I can get to Britain, and from there I'm getting on a train.
Yeah.
Which is when you're talking about Europe, I gotta be very careful with that. Like that, like to be honest, all right, I gotta be very careful with my wording and phrasing on that, because yeah,
The Nazi. Yeah.
Europe is
France is on the edge.
it's on the edge. They're always on the edge. Though.
Yeah, they've been on the edge. Germany, they're still in the sorry phase.
Yeah, I mean, just because of what
You're
happened.
safer there.
That's just it. Oddly,
I can't believe Germany's the refuge.
Oddly, but no,
We're going to Ireland. That's
there
what
you go.
we're
Yeah, so
running
that's
to.
safe.
Yeah, because they run at 220, and I already know how to do the voltage over there, so I'm good. All right, here you go. You ready?
Yeah, let's go.
You're monarch.
That's
You've got the passport. That's why I checked.
Yeah.
Okay. Chucky 3.
That's a good movie.
Yeah. Chucky 3's got a cancer diagnosis.
That's not good.
Now we're not sure
That's-
what kind of cancer.
No.
He had a prostate check, which he was uncharacteristically public about. It's good on him.
Yeah.
No, like Charles
More men.
Charles does a lot of things, but what he's generally done a pretty good job of like drawing attention to shit that needs attention. And cancer screening, especially for things that are uncomfortable for guys, good on him for doing that. Use your platform. We salute you for that. God save the king. Literally. He might be in trouble because apparently he's got a stage 3 cancer diagnosis or something like that. Is this stage 3? I think it's stage 3. It's something bad.
It's cancer.
It's cancer. Now look,
Full stop.
he's 75.
Yeah.
His parents are cousins.
Stop it. Yes.
That's true.
It's true. Yes, but I know where you're going.
All right. So it's like, it's not shocking. I'm not like, oh my God, how did this 45-year-old in perfect health end up with,
Right.
it's not that. But it's not great. But that is not what we want to talk about. Charles is married to Camilla,
Yes.
which is how Fox News pronounces Kamala,
Yes.
which apparently she watches to find out how her name is actually pronounced. Did you know that? Shout out to Seth Meyers. That was his joke. Okay. So Camilla is the queen consort currently. That's her official title. Although they dropped the consort on the website because it sounds salacious. But she's the queen for all operative purposes. And the
But we have a
question,
king.
but there's a king.
Right.
You do have a king. So the question is, what happens if he dies? What is Camilla?
Is this becomes one of those weird ones where you have like a person who takes over the queen? I guess you're the queen. What is it? What is the official name of them?
So
The title.
So there's the queen mom or queen mother is what happened when Elizabeth's father died.
Yeah.
And she ascended to the throne, and her mother, who was the queen before, changed titles to be the queen mom so that Elizabeth could be the queen.
Correct.
Okay. So officially what happens is Camilla would take on the title of Queen Dowager, which
not flattering,
is simply defined as the widow of the king. So it's a really, just a dictionary decision, but it's not flat. Well, queen consort's not flattering either.
Yeah.
Poor Camilla. She's the other woman in this whole story.
Poor Camilla. What the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, poor Camilla.
What the poor Camilla?
And then she gets slandered with this consort and dowager. I mean,
she's been around forever.
Yeah. All she did was love this man who happened to be the prince.
And
married to somebody else, but whatever. It's not her fault.
Yeah,
it's his fault.
We know it. We know what has to happen here.
So what will happen is that if Charles dies, then Prince William will become king, and then Camilla, who is not his mom, will become Queen Dowager, technically.
Yes.
And that means Kate would become queen, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But queen doesn't matter when you have the king.
Does it? Well, I don't know how this works.
Bloodline, I think, is more so like the direct bloodline.
So yeah, but then Archie or whatever gets to be king or something.
Yeah, I mean, soon they're gonna be calling fucking Harry and Meghan Markle.
So when do we get to Queen Meghan?
Soon, it's close.
I want an American queen sitting on that throne. That's what I want.
That's when
I don't think that's gonna happen.
That's when Buckingham Palace closes.
Yeah,
like the boards go up on the fucking.
Hey, your Tea Party, motherfuckers!
Hey,
we got an American sitting on the throne.
Yeah, everything closes at that point. You gotta close it. You gotta close everything down.
No,
gotta stop these borders.
51st state.
51st state for DC. Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, they have a queen.
No, I mean, I'm sure the Irish are rejoicing, as well as every other country in the Commonwealth. I mean, look, even when he got this, people wasn't excited. Because again, what's weird, I guess, is being Jamaican and people older generations revered Elizabeth.
Yeah,
they loved her.
They loved her.
My grandmother's birthday and her are on the same, and they
love her.
Can't tell my grandmother nothing about Queen.
Huey too is like a saint to her.
I can't say anything about nothing at all.
She stands for the monarchy that enslaved our people and blah blah blah, and she'd be like, yeah, she didn't
preside over a lot of not good things.
Yeah, but to her,
it doesn't
Huey
matter.
too is untouchably great.
Charles, I think someone pointed out to me, and I wasn't even thinking. They were like, "Damn, he just got there, and now
he's 75."
I know, and you waited your whole life. You got there.
You think you're in?
They're not making these monarchs like they used to.
No, you think you're in the royal bloodline where everybody dies when they're 43. Because of all the inbreeding and all that stuff. And then you're like, oh, shit, mom, you're still, and then she lives to be 93. He doesn't get to be king until he's
70.
got great grandchildren. I mean, well, grandchildren anyway.
Yes.
Come on.
The fact we still doing this shit is wild.
That's the question.
And the fact that this country loves. It's one of the weirdest things.
I don't.
This country.
I didn't even put this in the script.
I didn't. Oh God. They love it.
Long live the king.
That is long live the king, huh?
Who fucking didn't we fight 2 wars not to have to care about this stuff?
So offensive for all Americans. That when
Brian, are you secretly Canadian? Why do you care so much?
Well, I think it's kind of interesting to hear how the monarchy changes things, especially with Camille coming in and thinking the fact that everyone loves Princess Diana. Everybody did.
Sure.
Yeah.
So
the only thing close to Elizabeth.
Yeah. So I just feel like it's kind of interesting and especially getting your perspective. I know for how you hate the royals. So I just want to get your perspective.
This is like, I ain't wishing cancer on nobody.
No.
Like, let's start there.
No.
Let's just start there at
We're
the beginning.
definitely not doing that.
I do.
Although that testicle tanning, Tucker, keep it up.
Oh God. But yeah, like, first of all, this shit is just figurehead shit. Like,
yeah,
at this point, I mean, the
monarch was done.
The monarch was done after World War II.
The Tories don't even rally around the monarch anymore
because this shit was dead after like 1945. It's at the
end
of the war.
The leader of the Tories is a brown man. That's. I mean,
national food is Indian.
Yeah, who cares at this point? Like, you go to England to get curry. That's you go to Jamaica to get curry.
Exactly.
People are like, "Oh, curry goat is great."
Yeah,
you're like,
yeah.
You know how that is, right?
Thank you.
Like that's an insane thing.
Yeah, look.
I'm not saying it's not delicious.
That's colonialism at its highest. Right
that's
there.
working the best possible
that's
direction
it right there.
If you're gonna enslave people and destroy the world, at least make some curry goat. I feel like it was all worth it, really.
I like a banh mi.
Yeah,
I'm like, look, that's another great one there. Vietnamese and French.
Golly.
The baguette can buy.
Yeah.
Come on now. Like, there are good parts of colonialism.
Tacos, even. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
If it weren't for colonialism, we wouldn't have tacos.
Shit, we wouldn't be here.
You wouldn't. I wouldn't have a place to go to.
You know it. Look,
I'd be dead.
You know, look here. I'm gonna say, you know how this goes.
You might be living in some,
metropolis of
some Black Panther future.
Yeah, exactly.
And with vibranium and shit, I'm gonna be digging potatoes out of the frozen tundra.
Yeah.
Or the desert.
Yeah.
We've never lived in a nice place. It's not good.
Yeah, no.
We got to Brooklyn and then it turned into whatever it is now.
Yeah.
It's not good.
The real homeland.
We really didn't mean that. Sorry, everybody.
Oh, God.
Did our best and the fucking hipsters came. All right. Dateline, Raleigh. Representative John. This is like, I swear this is a joke. This guy's name is John Hardister.
He looks like a Hardister.
Yeah, he's the main sponsor of North Carolina's anti-porn law.
Okay.
John Hardister
is anti-porn. Okay. I guess he enjoys being just hard.
Ister. He's the verification law has resulted in several adult sites disabling access in the state, suggesting in an interview published Monday that the sites could address the issue by simply providing free membership to everybody who has a verified user age. So, like, Virginia banned access to porn essentially until you could verify age, which just meant everybody was like, nope. And every Republican in the state got a VPN, like instantly. And then so North Carolina is like, oh, we're going to do that too. And people are like, well, but what about all the actual adults who want to look at porn? Like John Hardister. And he was like, oh, here's a great solution. Not that I would ever sign up for it or anything. Why don't these websites just have a membership where they verify age? And then you get a username and a password, and you can just log in. Because, everybody watching porn definitely wants their username and password and birthday information logged by the porn website.
Yeah, that all the data you want to give up.
Yeah, to watch, Two Girls in a Cup or whatever. I don't know.
Early internet, that wasn't porn.
I didn't even watch it. I don't even know what it is, but I know it's that, but I'm just using it as a frame of reference.
Fair.
Thank you for explaining it in the detail.
People don't know. That's early internet.
But like, what? Okay, so here we are again. This seems to be like a recurring theme on this show. No thanks to our producer Brian. Why this?
You want an angry state? Angry state of mind? I don't know. Like, why would you do this?
North Carolina has enough problems.
Yeah.
Please let the good people of North Carolina take a good 15 minutes to themselves and like handle it.
This will get resolved. They'll come to their senses.
Lord have mercy, I'm about to bust.
Yo, that was nuts. All right, moving on.
They have oral arguments around this?
Oh!
Resolution XXX.
I feel like you need to chew on it for a little while.
Oh, God. This sucks.
No.
This pussy.
Okay, moving right along.
Gotta advance to the next section.
When it comes to the climax of this show.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Hey, here we go.
Have you heard of Zyn?
This is the caffeine?
No.
No, this is the nicotine.
Nicotine.
It's the nicotine. Yes, I just heard about this.
I literally only heard about it this week.
2 days ago.
Yeah, on NPR. Okay, so apparently there is a thing called Zyn.
Yeah, they Zyn it out.
Which is nicotine that is not necessarily derived from tobacco, but could be, mostly is, in little pouches that you stuff in your mouth like you would chew.
Chew, yeah. Everything gets recycled. Everything, we just keep going around.
So, like, the Swedes kind of invented this. They had this stuff called snooze. And the idea of this is that it's like it's snuff in a pouch. And you stick it up in your lip like you would with dip. And then, you get the nicotine hit from it. And you don't have to smoke it. And you don't have to do as much spitting or any spitting. All right. And so, like, does it cause mouth cancer? Maybe, probably. But it's not really well known and it's not regulated at all. At all. So
it's in that Juul type.
It's in the pre-regulation Juul category, right? So along those lines, Chuck Schumer, Senate Majority Leader, commissioned a study. Like, hey, what's up with this Zyn stuff? It's a nicotine thing. It's addictive. We know it's addictive.
Influencers who have made nicotine pouches part of their online personalities.
He goes, is this a problem? Yeah. And the study comes back. It's like, well, it could be a problem.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, we ought to ask the FDA to check this out. Didn't even ask to regulate it or anything. Just like, yo, check it out.
You better, for now, as long as they're allowed to do that. Now.
While the FDA is allowed to exist.
Yeah.
So the right wing lost their shit because apparently Zyn is like a cultural thing for them.
Oh, they're Zinning out?
These Zinners are in.
Zinners.
They are committing Zins left and right.
Zins left and right.
Yeah, they're in the Zin bin. We don't even know, like, I'm not even aware of this shit. But like the simple question of, is this harmful? They all lost their mind. And they were like, oh, no, if you come from my Zyn, you got to pry from my cold, dead lips or whatever.
Wow.
Which could happen if you do a lot of Zyn. So they all flipped out. And Schumer was like, holy shit, I didn't know this was even a thing. What are you talking about?
Schumer's not on that part of the internet.
I'm not on that part of the internet.
No, I learned this 2 days ago.
And Fetterman, who's the only like Democrat who knows anybody who works for a living, goes, hey man, like let people do what the fuck they want. And everybody dropped it. like a hot rock.
New Hampshire energy.
Yeah,
New
except
Hampshire,
he's
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. So dropped it like a hot rock, but that did not stop the right wing.
It's too late.
Tucker told everybody that nicotine's a mind-enhancing drug, and he uses this stuff all the time. The Zins people went crazy. The Zinsters are going nuts, and like first they come for your Zin, then they come for your guns, and then they so it became a political football. How many people are going to vote as a single issue voter on their access to weird nicotine products? Several million, apparently.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Like,
things have become zinteresting again.
like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with this? I don't know. Like,
I don't know. It's your Q&A.
Chewing tobacco. Like, it's not safer, right?
No, it just gives you cancer in a different part of your body. In the mouth. I think it's a little less important than your lungs, I guess.
And you too might be king.
Very interesting.
Look, you want to fucking?
We're just not going to cover it on health insurance.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Are you a tobacco user? No. Are you a Zin user? Yes. Yeah. Off. See ya. You hear that music?
That is our. But we got predictions.
Oh yeah, Super Bowl. Who's gonna win?
I understand that everybody hates Patrick Mahomes. I understand this country. No, this country doesn't like. Look, it's me. This country doesn't like. We can't. I heard it the other day. Even you always reference on the show, Ty Rizzo. It's like we've already seen him win. We want to see 49ers win. And no, I want total domination. I want people to win dynasties. I'm here for the best of the best.
Supporting the Harbaugh dynasty in Michigan.
That's over with.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm going.
You're against our black head coach? I get it.
Yeah, okay, that's me. Cool. You know me. Yeah, he's in the big house. You always gotta watch them in the big house. I'm going for the people on the field. Okay. Patrick Mahomes is on the field.
Half of him.
Hey, you've seen this, daddy.
Yeah, the pitcher.
Yeah, you know. I always want to see Patrick Mahomes. He's Jordan. I want to see him. They will win the Super Bowl. It's a psyop, obviously. What's her name will come out and endorse Joe Biden. Her plane will land on the field.
Right, yeah.
She will kick Usher off the stage.
That's right.
Start singing songs I've never heard.
And they're gonna win Grammys before she finishes singing them.
Here's what's gonna actually
happen. Kanye is gonna come out and bow down to her.
Right. It's gonna be reverse.
Yeah.
And then he's gonna endorse Joe Biden.
Endorse Joe Biden. Yeah.
Endorse Joe Biden.
Drake would too, but he's Canadian, so nobody cares.
No, yeah, who's he endorsing?
I don't know. Trudeau. A moose.
A moose. Yeah, but Kansas City's gonna win this.
So I think on the merits, like sports wise, like on the field,
yeah,
these are well matched teams.
Great matchup. It's like, are we doing this again? This is like the election, right? We're doing this over again. What's 4 years ago? 4 years ago, right? We're doing this again.
But the personnel are different.
Yeah.
On the Niners side, look, there's great stories here. Purdy's Mr. Irrelevant. This is the last pick in the draft.
Yeah.
He's been to the playoff game. That's great. But now he's in the Super Bowl. Yeah. Like, that's a hell of a story. You've got this incredible defense of the 49ers. You've got, Debo coming off the injury and coming back and being great. You've got Kittle. You've got this great coaching staff of the Niners, and you've got a lot of former Washington players. You've got Chase and Trent Williams, and like there's lots of reasons.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
As a Washington fan to support the 49ers, plus they're the NFC team. On the other side, you've got Patty Mahomes, who is a generational quarterback. You've got Andy Reid, who is probably going to retire after the end of this. A lot of people are saying you'd like to see him go out on a win. People love to talk about Belichick.
Andy Reid.
Andy Reid's coaches circles around Belichick. and like he's just
when it comes to scheme. Yeah.
He's just a genius.
Yes.
And the way he has been successful he's not just been successful with different teams, but he's in terms of makeup, but he's been successful with different teams
I remember when Troy Detmer was coming in those damn Philadelphia teams.
Yeah. He's been successful across different franchises.
Yeah.
All right. So like,
and he has a tree. He has a tree as well too.
Not that Belichick doesn't,
right,
but Andy Reid is in the Holmgren tree.
But I think that it is that is the from the coaches we like to look at. Successful ones have a tree of people that go on.
Absolutely. So it's hard to pick a side, honestly, if you're a neutral on this. I'm a neutral on this. I my brother's a Niners fan. I kind of, I'm sort of reflexively pro NFC, unless, it's one of the teams I hate, like, the rest of my division. But it's hard to root against Mahomes and the story of the Chiefs. And like, I mean, they're building this.
His best run. I think this would be Mahomes' best run.
Well, I really want to see
all road games.
I want to see
Reed,
not
all road games, but coming in as a wild card in 2 roads.
Coming in as a wild card. I want to see Reed get another title and get to retire and be in that canon of greatness. That's for me. It's about Andy Reid. It's that Mahomes is going to probably get another couple Super Bowls. He's got it.
We'll see.
But Andy Reid, let him have. So, all right, Brian hates Andy Reid and the Kansas City Chiefs because they beat Lamar.
Doesn't your coach come from that tree too?
He does.
Yeah, he was.
Okay,
he was John Harbaugh's special team.
Right?
I hate because I don't like dynasties unless it's my own, and we have.
Unless it's my own.
That's so crazy. That is insane. No, you don't like dynasties?
I would tell. I'm in the same category.
Okay. So until we have I feel the Orioles will have a dynasty. Because based off the way things are going, the Ravens should have a dynasty.
Corbin Burns.
But I saw the list of free agents we may or may not lose. But anyway, I said this on No Filter. I'll give you the preview. I said this last time after the Niners and Chiefs met. The Niners had them. And they let up. If they do that again, it's going to be a repeat. That means it's like you need to pressure, you need to attack Mahomes. You don't blitz, you attack. There's a difference. And the Buccaneers attacked when they won their Super Bowl against them. So that's the main thing. You stop Mahomes, you stopped everything. And I think that's how it's going to be. So, but the way I say this is like to me, my winner will be Usher.
Yeah.
and also the fact finding out I'll root on Mahomes. I will root for Mahomes.
All right.
It is not Patrick though. It's his hot wife. She's in new Sports Illustrated swimsuit. So there, yes. I'll root that Mahomes. So there.
Okay.
That's how we're gonna end.
I mean, look, the opportunity for this to be an actually really good game is.
I don't think it's gonna be a good game. 17-14.
It could be. That's a good game.
It will be
for people who enjoy this. I think will be 17-14.
Sacks and turnovers. That's fantastic.
Like both of
You've
these
got two killer defenses
are gonna neutralize. I guarantee this. There's no way in hell it's a high.
Containing Patrick Mahomes is like containing a nuclear reaction.
He only needs 14 points. In one half, he only needs 14 points. He only needs to score 2 touchdowns.
All right, my only advice to the Niners
and a good referee team.
Taylor Swift edition.
My advice to the Niners is the same thing that I told everybody who played against the Tom Brady Patriots. Is that I don't care by how much you're ahead, you play like you're behind.
Yeah.
You keep your foot on the gas, and you do not ever play prevent. You just try to throw as many points. You could be up by 50. You're still behind. 50 with 2 minutes left. Patrick Mahomes can do it. Be careful.
I think one of those receivers on the Chiefs, I don't even know their names on there. Who's the boy who caught the last catch?
Valdez Scanlon?
Is that who it is? The catch that what's name throw over there? I think you're gonna have a weird MVP. It's gonna have fucking overlords running for the hills to try to figure out how to get.
No. It's going to be Kelsey because that's how the deep state planned.
PSYOPs, baby.
Yeah.
Here.
All right, you hear the music?
Word, PSYOPs. That's everybody's saying PSYOPs. PSYOPs.
They just call it an op. It's an op. It's an op.
Just the op.
Just an op.
No sign?
No, they got rid of it. It's too hard to spell. Got that silent P, much like Trump in Moscow. All right, you hear that music, which means we've come to the end of the show. We want to say thank you to Josh for hanging out with us and promoting democracy. We also support democracy. You should support democracy. If you don't, you're a fascist. Please don't forget to vote. It is your right. But please use it.
Yeah.
Unless you live in the district. No. Also, thanks to our radio partners, the FEC, the SEC, and the FCC, and of course, the FBI. Thanks to NOTN. They're listening.
They're always listening.
They're always listening. Thanks to NOTN for keeping us on for another week, or not. We don't know. Thanks to our home on the interwebs, CoPlayMedia.com. And thanks, as always, to our family here at Beltway Radio for making us sound as smooth as the sound of Vladimir Putin makes when his testicle tanning light is a little too hot.
What?
You know, I don't know what that sound is, but we're that smooth. All right, where can everybody get you on the socials?
You can find me on Instagram at Catch 'em Corded. You can find me at Hellscape X and DC Cortez. And you can find me always being a flaming liberal on Blue Sky.
Which is now public, by the way.
It is
3.2 million. Yeah. Seems like not very many. I have more followers on Threads. All right. You can find me and the show on Twitter at RipChatRR. You can find us on Facebook or Instagram at RipChipChat. You can, of course, find us every Thursday night here on Beltway Radio and Beyond at 9:30. I'm Chip. That's Tez. That's Brian. Loving the Kansas City Chiefs. His favorite team in all of football. You've been listening to Chip Chat on Beltway Radio and Beyond.
Street Buzz.